Life with a child or teen with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, can be frustrating, even overwhelming. And as a parent, you can help your child overcome daily challenges, channel their energy into positive arenas, and bring greater calm to your family. The earlier and more consistently you address your child's problems, the greater chance they have for success in life. Hi, I'm Kim Feeney with Butterfly Beginnings Counseling, and welcome to my channel. I'm a licensed independent social worker and a registered play therapist supervisor. I have over a decade of experience helping children and families to lead healthier emotional lives. I'd love to do this for your family as well. So go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications on the latest content. The child with ADHD has a neurodivergent brain. Neurodiversity is a viewpoint that brain differences are normal rather than deficits. Neurodivergent people experience, interact with, and interpret the world in unique ways. Children with ADHD generally have deficits in executive functioning. Executive functioning is the part of the brain that helps organize, control impulses, and complete tasks. That means that you as the parent need to take over and be that executive functioner for the child until they can develop those skills for themselves. We all know raising a child with ADHD isn't like traditional child rearing. Normal rulemaking and household routines just don't apply and are almost impossible. Depending on the type and severity of your child's symptoms, you're going to need to adopt different approaches. And it can become frustrating to cope with some of the behaviors which result from your child's ADHD. And there are ways to make life easier. Don't quit on me yet. Children with ADHD can and still learn what is acceptable and what is not. However, their disorder does make them prone to more impulsive behavior. Before you successfully parent a child with ADHD, let's look at how the symptoms affect your family as a whole. Children with ADHD often don't hear parental instructions, so then they consequently don't follow them. They're easily disorganized and distracted. They keep other people waiting for them. They start projects, forget to finish them, let alone clean up after themselves. They interrupt a lot. Sometimes they speak without thinking, so they're rude, they're embarrassing, they're tactless. And bedtime can be the most frustrating time of the day, with children with ADHD running tornadoes throughout your house before winding down for bed. So, because of all these things, siblings of children with ADHD often receive less attention, they get less praise when they've done good things, and they sometimes feel resentful or jealous of their sibling with ADHD. The demands of monitoring a child with ADHD are physically and mentally just exhausting, without a doubt. Your child's inability to listen leads to frustration, then that frustration leads to anger, then you get guilty because you felt angry, and it's just a round and round cycle of anxiety and stress and anger. In order to meet the challenges of raising a child with ADHD, you must be able to master a combination of compassion and consistency. Living in a home that provides both love and structure is essential for raising a child or teenager with ADHD. And fostering this development of a child with ADHD means that you're most likely going to have to modify your behavior first to help your child learn to manage the symptoms of theirs. Medication may be the first step in managing your child's ADHD, and behavioral techniques may be second. There are two basic principles for behavior management: positive and negative reinforcement. The goal of behavior modification is to help your child consider the consequences of an action and to control the impulse to act on it. This requires energy, patience, affection, empathy, and strength on the part of the parent. First of all, parents must decide which behaviors they will and won't tolerate, and it's crucial to stick to the guidelines. Punishing a behavior one day while allowing it the next just confuses the child's brain with ADHD. Some behaviors, like physical outbursts, refusing to turn off the TV or video games, and refusal to get up in the morning, should always be unacceptable. Rules should be clear and simple. Your child may have a hard time figuring out and exacting your limitations and guidelines, and they should always be rewarded for following them. This can be accomplished using a point system where children earn points for good behavior that then can be turned in for things like extra spending money, extra screen time, or a play date with a friend. Have a list of your household rules, write it out, and post it on the refrigerator or a place where all family members can see and resource it. Repetition, encouragement, and positive reinforcement will help your child to better understand your rules and learn how to follow them. And again, while the child's symptoms of ADHD are nothing short of exasperating, it's important to remember the child with ADHD is not acting willfully. Kids with ADHD want to sit quietly. They want to make their rooms tidy and organized. They want to do everything that you ask them to do. They just don't know how to make these things happen. Keep in mind that having ADHD is just as frustrating for your child as it is for yourself. And it's a lot easier to respond in positive and supportive ways. So, define the rules and allow some flexibility. It's important to constantly reward these good behaviors consistently and to discourage destructive ones. And you shouldn't be too strict with your child with ADHD. They don't adapt to change as well as other kids do. You must learn to allow your child to make mistakes as they learn. And odd behaviors that are not detrimental to your child or anyone else should be accepted as a part of your child's personality. It's ultimately harmful to discourage a child's quirky behaviors just because you might think they're unusual. As you establish these consistent rewards and consequences, keep in mind, children with ADHD often receive criticism. A smile, a positive comment, or another reward can improve the attention, concentration, and impulse control of your child with ADHD. Do your best to focus on giving encouragement for appropriate behavior and task completion, while giving as few negative responses as possible. Remember, it takes 5 positive comments to overcome 1 negative. If you're looking for more tips to help parent your child with ADHD, grab my free guide, 20 Parenting Tips for Children with ADHD, using the link below in the description. Make a routine for your child and stick to it every day. Establish rituals around things like meal times, homework, playtime, and especially bedtime. Simple daily tasks, such as having your child lay out their clothes the day before, can provide some of this essential structure. Children with ADHD are more likely to succeed in completing tasks when the tasks occur in predictable places and with predictable patterns. Your job is to create and sustain that structure in your home so that your child knows what to expect and what they're expected to do. Using things like clocks and timers all over your home, including a big clock in your child's bedroom, can help them to allow enough time for what your child needs to do, such as homework or getting ready in the morning. And use a timer for transitional time, such as finishing up play and getting ready for bed. And simplify your child with ADHD's schedule. Don't overschedule them with a bunch of after-school activities. Go ahead and pick 1 or 2 activities that they may be really passionate in and schedule those, but limit the demands of their time. Idle time is not good. However, they're also become more wound up when there's too much to do as well. Make sure your child has a quiet, private space of their own, such as a porch area or a bedroom, that they can just go and decompress when the need arises. And do your best to be neat and organized. Set up your home in an organized way so that everything has a place. You're going to have to lead by example when it comes to neatness and organization as much as possible. So go ahead and drop me a comment and let me know some of your household routines to help your child with ADHD. For someone with ADHD, large tasks can feel complex and off-putting. When possible, break tasks into smaller, achievable goals. And this helps the child regulate the emotions associated with succeeding and failing at these tasks. Try using, again, a large wall calendar to remind your child of specific chores or homework assignments, and consider color coding it for each person in the family. For example, if a child has been asked to clean their room, break it down into things like pick up your toys, fold your clothes, put away your clothes, hang your clothes up, make your bed, organize your desk. Small, manageable tasks and successes build up and lead to those bigger projects to being accomplished. And we all know that children with ADHD easily welcome distractions. Things like TV, video games, and the computer, they encourage this impulsive behavior, and they need to be regulated. Decrease time with electronics, increase time doing engaging activities outside of the home. allows your child to have an outlet for some of their built-up, pent-up energy. If a child is easily distracted, it pays to unclutter your home. Like things like turning radios or television down or completely off. Get them to work on tasks away from the lure of the TV. And toys even should be put away when they're in their bedroom doing things like homework or other important tasks. Encourage more things like physical activity to burn off this excess energy in more healthy ways. It decreases impulsivity. It also improves concentration and decreases things for the risks of depression, anxiety, and stimulates the brain in healthy ways. Were you aware, because I was not, that many professional athletes actually have ADHD? Experts believe that athletics can help a child with ADHD find constructive ways to focus their passion, attention, and energy. So what we want to do is find a sport that suits your child the best. Things like baseball that have a lot of downtime may not be the best for the child with ADHD. However, things like soccer, basketball, or hockey with a lot of movement and activity may be good for them. It stimulates that brain and gets some of that pent-up energy out. In addition, the child with ADHD may benefit from training in martial arts such as Taekwondo or yoga, which enhances their mental control as they simultaneously work out the body. As we've mentioned previously in this video, bedtime may be especially difficult for children suffering from ADHD. Lack of sleep exacerbates inattention, hyperactivity, and restlessness. So helping your child get better sleep is important. To help them get better rest, eliminate stimulants like sugar and caffeine, decrease screen time, and help them establish a healthy, calming bedtime ritual. Start by creating a buffer time to lower down the activity level an hour or so before bedtime. And while you're doing this, focus on quieter activities such as reading or coloring. And then finally, at the end of the night, spend 10 minutes just cuddling with your child. This builds a sense of love and security in your child's brain, as well as a time for it to just calm down and relax. Also, create that environment, that calming space. Use lavender or other aromas in your child's room. The scent can be used to calm down your child. Relaxation tapes or background noise, such as nature sounds, calming music, or even just white noise or the static of a fan can help to give your child's brain something to focus on while also calming it down at the end of the night. While we know diet is not a direct cause of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, food and diet does affect your child's mental state, which in turn affects your child's behavior. So monitoring and modifying what, when, and how much your child eats can help decrease the symptoms of things like ADHD. All children benefit from fresh foods, regular meal times, and staying away from junk food. This is especially true with the child with ADHD, whose impulsiveness and distractedness can lead to missed meals, disordered eating, and binge eating. Prevent these unhealthy eating habits by scheduling regular nutritious meals for your child no more than 3 hours apart. For a child with ADHD, these regular intake of healthy food and meal times are necessary scheduled breaks for them throughout the day. Also consider things like getting rid of junk food in your home, putting fatty and sugary foods off limits, including when eating out, turn off television shows that are riddled with junk food ads, and give your child a daily vitamin and mineral supplement. Again, it's no surprise that children with ADHD lack self-control. This causes them to speak and then act without thinking. Ask your child to verbalize their thoughts and reasoning when the urge to act out arises. It's important to understand your child's thought process in order to help them eventually curb those impulses. Another way to control some of these impulses to speak before thinking is to teach your child how to pause a moment before talking or replying. Encourage more thoughtful responses by practicing with your child during homework assignments, or ask them interactive questions about a favorite television show or a book. This will take a lot of practice, and it can be worth it. It can give them a real advantage in their social life down the road. Because it's hard for children with ADHD to learn social skills and social rules, you can help your child with ADHD become a better listener, learn to read people's faces and body language, and interact more smoothly when interacting in groups. Speak gently and honestly with your child about their challenges with ADHD and social skills, and help them learn how to make changes. Role play social scenarios with their child and mix up the roles just to make it kind of fun and exciting. Be careful to select playmates for your child with similar language and physical skills. Invite only 1 or 2 friends over at a time and watch them closely, and have zero tolerance for things like physical and verbal aggression. And make time and space for your child to play often and reward good play behaviors. Your child likely doesn't realize the stress that their condition can cause. It's important to remain positive and encouraging. Encourage your child's good behavior so they know when they've done something right. Your child may struggle with ADHD now, but have confidence and be positive about their future. Think about or make a written list of everything that is positive, valuable, and unique about your child. Trust that your child can learn, change, mature, and succeed. Reaffirm this trust daily while you're brushing your teeth or sipping your morning coffee. And of course, you cannot be supportive 100% of the time. It's normal to become overwhelmed or frustrated with yourself or with your child. Just as your child needs to take study breaks, you're going to need to take breaks while parenting your child with ADHD. Lean on friends and family to help guide your child with ADHD and discuss honestly how they best should handle your child when they're in these supervisory roles. And then take that break, go for a walk, go to the gym, take a relaxing bubble bath. As a parent, you set the stage for your child's emotional and physical health. You have control over the many factors that positively influence the symptoms of your child's disorder. Maintaining a positive attitude helps your child meet the challenges of ADHD. When you're calm and focused, you're more likely to connect with your child, helping them to be calm and focused as well. Keep things in perspective. Remember, your child's behavior is related to a disorder. Most of the time, it's not intentional. Hold on to your sense of humor. What's embarrassing today may be a funny story 10 years down the road. Again, as your child's role model and most important source of strength, it's vital that you take care of yourself. If you're overtired or have run out of patience, you lose sight of the structure and support you have so carefully set up for your child with ADHD. Seek support. Engage your child's doctors, therapists, teachers. Get a support group going for parents of children with ADHD. These forums allow for giving and receiving of advice and provide a safe place to vent and share feelings and experiences. And of course, taking care of yourself includes eating right, exercising, finding ways to reduce stress, whether it be a nightly bath or a morning meditation. And if you get sick, acknowledge it and ask for help. You cannot help an impulsive child if you yourself are aggravated. Children mimic the behaviors they're going to see around them. So if you remain composed and controlled during an outburst, it will help your child to do the same. Take time to breathe, relax, and collect your thoughts before attempting to address your child. The calmer you are, the calmer your child will become. And be willing to make some compromises with your child. If you've given them 3 chores to complete and they complete 2 out of the 3 plus the night's homework, 1 chore left undone isn't a big deal. Living with a child who may demonstrate hyperactive and impulsive behaviors can be a challenge. And if you address every problem every day, your life would be stressful and unpleasant for everyone. It's a learning process, and even the small steps count. Again, remember, your child's behavior is caused by a disorder. ADHD may not be visible on the outside, and it is a disability and should be treated as such. When you begin to feel angry or frustrated, remember, your child just can't snap out of it or just be normal. And it may sound simplistic, but take one day at a time. Keep it all in perspective. Again, what is stressful or embarrassing today will fade away tomorrow. And of course, it's natural for parents to feel protective. When a child has ADHD, it can seem that other caregivers do not understand or that they don't care enough. Good communication is the key to solving this problem. Talk with anyone your child has contact with about their ADHD. Explain their preferences and describe the most effective interventions for dealing with their challenging behavior. Remember, you are the parent, and ultimately, you establish the rules for acceptable behavior in your home. Be patient and nurturing, and don't allow yourself to be bullied or intimidated by your child's behaviors. While some allowances can be made, ADHD does not excuse poor behavior. Children need boundaries, and it's essential for children to learn that there are consequences when they act up. More than 1 in 10 children in the United States have ADHD. Whether medical, psychological, or sociological, new ways of living with the condition are constantly being tested. And there is more social acceptance of ADHD now than ever before in the past, and support for parents and caregivers is ever increasing. Yes, life may need more planning and thought for a child who has ADHD, and however, it can be just as pleasurable and fulfilling. Don't forget to grab my free guide, 20 Tips for Coping with a Child and Parenting a Child with ADHD, using the link below in the description. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with a friend. Until next time, wherever you are in your day, hug your child and make it a great one.